pull up chat real quick, folks. Why does it say modest tomato point of view? Because that is not. Yo, hey Noel, how are you doing? Hopefully pretty well. Not gonna lie, in all of this I almost lost my stream key, but we're chilling. Yeah, one after would be nice enough. Oh yeah, I also changed the title, so you were good there. But I was a little worried that I was supposed to be streaming this whole thing, so that did not happen, Chief. Alright, beautiful. So it looks like we might have our first match here. No, no, that is not what I was supposed to. I was not supposed to join that room. It's okay. Is it because I joined? Now I feel bad. Thank you, Noel. I appreciate that. Means a lot. Oh, here we go. Yo, what? I get to watch all these now? Yo, this is fire. Yo, what up, Ajax? Dude, why are you here? Wait, did she ping the CMU Discord? Is that what happened? Yeah, legend. Wait, did he actually? That's so good, dude. I love that. What a legend, dude. You're all right. I think we're going to be starting off with the first semifinal between Mystery and Eddie. I believe seeds 2 and 3 in the tournament behind Cheap. And yeah, can't wait to see how this turns out. Yeah, hype indeed. Okay. Can I spec it? Here we go. I can't see it on the games list. Eddie decided to stall in the end, thus lost seed number 1. Oh, did he really? Oh, that's good. Oh, that's pretty rough too. Dang. Okay. I do not see this. Wait, I'm using the link and I can't spec it. And yeah, I don't see it under live games. All right, beautiful. Wait, really cheap? Cheap coming out there with the power plays. Able to clutch out the number 1 seed somehow. Wow. That's certainly something. I was wondering why your rating was so low when it was down to like the top 6. Here we go. Already. All right. Yeah, here we go. Eddie and Mystery coming right up. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting semifinal. I feel like every time these guys face off in Tetris Tuesdays on Jstress, it's always either one person or the other who's part of the tournament, and then they never play each other. Or maybe that's just me, but oh, that's true, Noel. Well, we'll finish this in 35 though, for sure. All right, here we go. Both players starting off here. Eddie immediate quick T-spin opener here. And Mystery sending some quick garbage, but Eddie deciding not to execute the T-spin. Interesting decision there. To opt not to go for the extra aggression there. Both pretty even right now. Mystery a little high up, playing a little aggressive, which is pretty risky. And there you go, eating a KO for it. Eddie able to recognize that scenario and spike just in time. So Eddie already with a little bit of a line piece misdrop, but able to clean that up, it looks like. And yeah, able to get down to the garbage hole. A good deal of a lead here on Mystery here with 2 quick KOs starting off. And yeah, it's looking pretty dominant here unless Mystery can get something started. Yeah, Eddie already at 71 lines sent, which is a good deal. Not as much as we saw last week in the other Worldwide Combos tournament, but still, you definitely see how he made top 4 in both tournaments with this sort of level of play. And Mystery trying to sort of stage just a comeback. Eddie getting a little high up there, but keeping a nice clean stack. And he looks like he's going to be able to get through to his garbage. And yeah, Mystery is struggling a little bit to make stuff happen here. Um, and yeah, Eddie third KO looking like it's gonna seal up the game. This is looking almost as dominant as his regular league matches. We'll see if Mystery is able to make some adaptations in the next couple games. But right now, I mean, Mystery did get a KO, which is a good look, you know. Definitely shows that he has the potential to take a game here, or to take the set rather as well. Um, yeah, Mystery getting a lot closer in the line sent, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to get the extra KOs in time, and that is a pretty convincing 3-1 win for Eddie in game 1. But Mystery was definitely pumping out more lines there, pumping out more garbage towards Eddie towards the end of that set, and so we'll see if he's able to sort of keep that up for game 2. All right, here we go. Mystery and Eddie both already sent some lines, so we didn't really get to see their opener. Nice donation there from Eddie. piling on the pressure there to Mystery, but Mystery, there you go, nice down stacking. Eddie able to get through that though, and yeah, Mystery going a little bit risky there for that T-spin, and it's very similar to sort of what we saw from him in game one. And it looks like that's going to cost him a KO here. Eddie, very nice donation there, a little bit piece dependent, but it does work out in the end. And we sort of see Eddie like a bit of a messy stack there for a second, but now it's already all cleaned up. Mystery's playfield looks either a little bit glitched out or a little bit misdropped, and I'm going to assume it was the latter, just because he's sort of getting through all these lines here. And everyone makes misdrops, but that was a pretty darn big one, especially at someone like Mystery's level. And so we'll see if he's able to sort of pile on enough pressure. It does look like he's making a bit of a comeback, though, getting that KO on Eddie almost even in line sent here. So if Mystery can just grab one more KO here and just in time. Eddie trying to three wide there, but sort of unable to. Building up a higher sort of three wide here. Mystery can make a quick sort of garbage sending action. Not in time, unfortunately, it looks like. Yeah, now Mystery's going to eat up a lot of garbage here, and that's going to be a KO here with three wide. A very interesting tactic here by Eddie. I know he definitely enjoys four wide because I do believe in the only match we've ever played in tournament he did four wide me. But going for three wide is definitely a very interesting decision. But it did seem to work out in his favor, and it does look like that is going to be part of the reason why game two is going to go to him. It looks like, and yeah, 4-1's quite convincing. A little bit salty, Rudabig. I'm not gonna lie. In my last game in this tournament, Sven four-wided me, and I almost came back and then didn't. And I'm a little salty, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. We'll get past it. But yeah, Eddie definitely on a path here to make it to grand finals. It looks like. But we'll see if Mystery is able to stay alive in this game three. Here we go. Eddie immediately building a center four wide. Mystery is looking either AFK or I can't. I mean, or its playfield's glitched out. A little unclear what's going on here. A verdict, Noel? Verdict? Oh, here we go. Starting again. It looks like maybe, maybe not. Guys, what's the verdict on that? Do we need to? Do we need to? Do we need to replay that? Did that end as planned? All right. So it looks like it's still 2-0 here. They're gonna have to make another room. It looks like. Um, but while we're waiting on that, I'm curious whether JF is ready actually to play. I'm not sure if he is. We'll see what happens here. Noel encountering some technical difficulties, as tends to be the case on worldwide combos, but that does have its own little charm to it, you know? I'm just messing, Noel. Your site's great. Yeah, it looks like this might be cutting into Delicious's tournament. Potentially. But oh dang, Mystery looks like is forfeiting uh is because he thought it was best of three rather than first to three. it looks like, which is very unfortunate. It's always sad to see a competitor go out that way. Oh, here we go. It does look like their last game got canceled by Noel, so we'll see if Mystery is down to play that third game. Right, here we go. Does look like the match might be back here. Oh yeah, here we go. 2-0, Eddie Mystery, and it looks like they might play uh, game 3 again. All right, here we go. Game 3 of version 2.0. We'll see how this one goes down. We'll see if Mystery is able to use this strategic break to his advantage. Wait, is this a new room, Noel? It does look like it. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. We got it. And it does look like both playfields are horribly glitched out. Noel, what in the world did you do here? But it does look like Eddie is already up 2-0 on KOs here. It's kind of difficult to analyze what's going on with screens like this. But it does look like Eddie is getting through his garbage a little bit here and sending a lot to Mystery, who kind of looks a little bit high up here, uh, if I am interpreting this scene correctly. And we'll see. Yeah, Mystery looking like he's downstacking a little bit. Nice KO there from him. Truly exciting gameplay that we can definitely see amazingly. And do I need to reload? Is that what's happening? Yeah, I can. And now it's almost even worse. Here we go. Uh, Mystery stacking up a little bit high, it looks like. And we'll see if he's able to get through all this garbage. But yeah, the long piece finally coming. Oh, but yeah, it does look like he opened his well. But yeah. Oh yeah, Eddie is looking like I can't even tell what's going on, guys. But what I do know is that Eddie has a pretty convincing 4-1 lead here. And it looks like that might be sort of the end of the set soon, if it keeps going like this. That might be cheap. I can't be sure. I'll be honest. Uh, my bad. I apologize for my shortcomings, but either way, that is this set put to bed, and it looks like a great showing by Mystery. Played excellently in the playoffs and whatnot. I can say that for sure because he is a darn good Tetris player. And yeah, Eddie almost got getting first seed in the playoffs just because he stopped playing was the only reason he didn't. But it does look like that sort of warm up for playoffs did work out for him, and that's a convincing 3-0. So yeah, let's see if we can get that link on Cheap and JF's match, the other semifinal. And yeah, oh yeah, here we go. Noel already out here with the link. I appreciate that. And yeah, it looks like the next match will be between Cheap and I can't even pronounce that name, but I call him JF, and so that's what I'm gonna be calling him here. JF, JFX, I'm not gonna try, guys. But here we go, 0-0. JF played, I feel, even better than he usually does in these playoffs here, and it did, I mean, in the quickfire round, and it did net him a spot in the top 4. But we'll see if he's able to make things happen here, because Cheap is definitely known here. He's the highest ranked player in the tournament, and we'll see how he's able to make things work here. And it does look like things are working pretty well here already for Cheap, with a convincing KO and a lot of garbage sent. JF's got to get to that garbage as soon as he can. We'll see if he's able to. Cheap stacking really high, playing very aggressive. But when he does that, it's usually because he knows he can, and that's definitely showing here. 2 KOs immediately after 40 seconds. Oh, Noel wanted me to try to pronounce Jafek. So there you go. Totally know what I'm doing here. Uh, and yeah, Cheap just able to keep such an impressively clean stack here. And the pressure is just looking like a lot for JF. And yeah, that's one annoying part about worldwide combos is when you build around your garbage holes and then you receive a KO. So JF was building there for a T-spin triple, but it remained unspun, and he was KO'd before he could get it off. And yeah, that it looks like that had a negative impact on how his sort of stack built up. And yeah, it looks like he's going to eat a 4th KO here. This is looking almost as dominant as when Cheap destroyed me in the quick fire here. And Cheap playing amazing here. 210 lines sent already after a minute and 20 seconds. And we can definitely see why he's in this top 4. Uh, he's just playing amazingly quickly and cleanly here. As we say that though, a little bit piece dependent on that T there, but it does work out for him just in time, and that does look like it's going to be game 1 going to Cheap. So yeah, dominant showing there, 100 full more lines sent, and a 4-0 KO lead. We'll see if JF is able to adapt to that sort of thing. That sort of huge damage output there, but we'll see if Cheap is able to retain his sort of dominance. Nice air TSD there from Cheap, but does have to soft drop on J to fix it there. And I don't know whether JF screen is, it looks a little bit glitched out here, so I think we'll be focusing more on Cheap screen. But very clean stacking here from Cheap, using a lot of sort of 7-2, 6-3 type stacking techniques. 5-4 as well, like a lot, and I think that kind of implementation is sort of allowing him to go a lot faster. Nice T-spin triple there from Cheap, or triple hole. It did only turn out to be a double there, but it was very quickly and cleanly executed. JF hasn't even eaten a KO yet, which is very impressive, especially given that he's taken 30 more lines than he sent. But it does, all grades fall eventually, and it looks like JF is already having a lot of trouble here with giving Cheap a 2-0 lead here right off the bat. 1 more minute to go here, and we'll see if JF is able to sort of hold on, but that 3rd KO from Cheap makes it seem otherwise, and Cheap is definitely, it's looking like he's running away with this here. Playing super clean. Oh, but as I say that, eating a KO, we'll see if JF is able to sort of mount a counter here to everything that Cheap's been putting out. And yeah, JF's screen still very glitchy, but it does look like he does not have any garbage on his screen, I say, and then he receives a bunch of garbage. But yeah, if JF wants to make something, oh, big spike there from JF actually, and that does KO Cheap there. We'll see if he's able to make that comeback on the 4-2 here, much closer than the first game. But it does still look like Cheap has a clear advantage. And I think this sort of ending position here also suggests that. Nice STSD there from Cheap as well. But yeah, this game a lot less clear. JF making some critical adaptations, but Cheap does still come out with the win. So we'll see how game 3 goes. JF also, as compared to the other semifinals, sending, I feel, a lot more lines than Mystery did. And doing a lot of other stuff very well, very clean play, I feel. So JF definitely putting on a very impressive showing here. And here we go. Yeah, Cheap hesitating a little bit there. A bit of a misdrop on his part. But given how cleanly he's been playing, it looks like he's able to fix that in a nice fashion. Building a bit of a risky fractal there, but it did work out and give him a nice little damage advantage here. But as I say that, JF still sent a lot of garbage and is even currently basically tied with Cheap in the amount of lines sent. We'll see if Cheap is sort of able to turn that around and sort of Oh, unfortunate misdrop there from JF because he ate that KO, unfortunately. And we'll see if he's able to downstack that in time, but it looks like with that kind of board, he might be eating another KO there. 2-0 lead is not the place you want to be against a player like Cheap, or 2-0 deficit, rather. He almost made this deficit, he almost made this margin work against Firestorm in their 5th game in the last tournament for worldwide combos. So yeah, being down 3-0 against a player like Cheap, when even the number one player on the site can barely make up the deficit, is definitely not where you want to be. And yeah, JF, a lot of very unfortunate misdrops here. It's looking like this might already be the end of his playoffs life here with a convincing 5-0. Oh, unclearable line is potentially the reason. Um, but I'm uncertain about that just because of how their fields look. I'm not sure though, so don't quote. Oh, it could be, yeah, it could be an unclearable line. It's looking like that for sure. And that would mean the game would have to be replayed. It was very uncharacteristic for JF there to to be eating 7 KOs from Cheap, even though Cheap is extremely skilled and well versed in this game. It did appear like the unclearable line glitch happened there. So we'll see if they replay that game or not. Alright, to quote Noel Nadal, by the way, if it's not too much, can you tell people to follow the channel after the semis are ended? So follow Noel's Worldwide Combos channel because he wants to. He wants it. Also, I don't know if this is still the same room or if there's a new room. If there is, please send it to me. Dell. That's good. I like that. So yeah, it looks like game 3 here is gonna be replayed. Unclearable line glitch, always unfortunate, especially to see in tournament. But here we go. Looking like uh, game 3, the real version this time, is gonna be starting here. At JF building a Tetris well, very interesting strategy here. But ooh, nice STSD setup there from him. Oh, but unable to execute that, sort of mislooked at that build. And yeah, now he has a very messy stack and I have a lot of trouble getting back down there. And it was a very nice setup though, and a very clear idea. But that does happen where you just sort of think your piece is going to be somewhere, and then all of a sudden it isn't. And that's how quickly it can go, especially against a player like Cheap, who will always capitalize on mistakes like that. And that's already a pretty clear 2-0 lead there for Cheap. So we'll see if Cheap is able to, or if JF is able to mount a comeback. But again, as I said, even the number one player on the site has had trouble making this comeback in the past. So it would take a monster of a game and a lot of misdrops from the machine that is Cheap to sort of make this comeback happen. And right now, with the sort of lead in line sent that Cheap has already, double the lines that JF has sent, it's very impressive, sort of, or definitely very impressive by Cheap. Yeah, playing a little bit aggressive there, which definitely isn't out of character. Cheap is definitely a very aggressive player when it comes to this platform, choosing to make a lot of risky decisions just to get that extra damage output, but it does usually tend to work out. And that's definitely what's happening here. Going for a lot of risks to do just a couple of extra T-spin doubles, and it's definitely working out in his favor here, as he's still got double the line sent that JF has, and 5-0 lead. Again, JF, it's a difficult matchup, especially for any player on the site, and I think Cheap is just sort of showing just how impressive of a player he is in that match. Almost 200 lines sent again. Yeah, very impressive games from Cheap. And it looks like Cheap will be playing Eddie in the grand finals. They actually played just last week, where Cheap came out with a convincing 7-0. To quote Firestorm, who was watching the match, Eddie isn't being too aggressive enough. I think Cheap will win. And we'll see if that will still hold true today. And yeah, we'll see if there's a grand finals room already